What's going on, everybody? We have another fun day in the markets here. Joined with my partner, Ian Walsh, Hard Money Bankers. You guys can't guess that by the obnoxious logos in the background and the obnoxious logo up top and our emails on the bottom and bottom right. But yeah. So Hard Money Bankers, that's our company. We've been talking heavily about the markets because it's been a passion of mine for about 20 years and it's highly correlated. You're like, well, if you guys do real estate, why are you talking about this? Well, it's all tied together, right? We're in a world market. It's all tied together. So knowing where the markets move right now will give us a pretty good indication as to where real estate's headed. And I think something else though to talk about tonight, Ryan's going to be on a panel in Clark, New Jersey, right?
Holiday Inn.
Yep. So yeah, anybody interested in learning more, join Ryan tonight at the panel in Clark, New Jersey. We've got flyers and posters out about it, so it should be a good one. So where do we start with this right now? I did a show yesterday. Man, everything's been playing out the way we've been talking about for the past 2 weeks, right? So you want to give like a synopsis rundown for everybody to just kind of get it quickly in the loop?
All right, I'll try to make it short here. So 2 weeks ago, we had the Evergrande news, which so most people, if you're looking at the stock market, you know of by now. It was a big red day, as you can see at the bottom circle that Ian has up there. And that's when it put everybody on alert, like what's going on here. And we've been kind of back and forth between the two circles that Ian has drawn there. I'm sure he'll dive in following the news because we had the government debt ceiling, what's going on with Evergrande, supply chain issues, right? So I'm sure Ian will give us more info on the triangle here, but this triangle is what we've been talking about. And there is a green bar in there that is really significant to everything we've been talking about. As Ian mentioned, this is playing out pretty much what we've said. So now, we're going to see some results from the current war that's going on.
Yeah. So, we've been saying, okay, so Evergrande hit the scene, which was down here. This was the Evergrande bar that broke the kiss of death trend. I mean, I couldn't even, these charts are getting so nutty. I can't even get this is the kiss of death right here. But I just was like, where do I even put it on this chart? There's a lot of noise going on here. So the kiss of death was this breaking move that really was important in terms of, we had the COVID uptrend, so we can call it the COVID kiss of death, right? How's that? The COVID kiss of death. No masks allowed.
Yeah, I mean, that's appropriate for COVID.
Yeah, the COVID kiss of death. So what you have is a situation where, there was this amazing uptrend that came off of COVID. I don't know, the Fed just pumped money. It was stimulus package stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And it just ran this uptrend, which is actually what these two blue lines are right here. And those blue lines were the trend that we're breaking. That's kind of what flagged me into the market space with these charts and said, hey, what's going on? We're about to hit some major trend lines from COVID 2 years ago. And then we hit it with this huge bar right here. And I was like, whoa, that was significant. And then I was like, well, and then I started looking at the days and, I kind of could feel each day and said, if we, this bar right here became significant because if this doesn't rally up, then the buyers are going to get swallowed. Boom, they got hit here. Another try here. They got crushed. Red, gap down. This is a huge selling thing. I go, holy cow, we're heading for the 32,000 mark. The 32,000 mark is really a big deal. You actually see like a little tiny bit of it right here in this, right down here, the little
dots
line,
or
right?
something.
Yeah, that little line there is we're actually really close to it. And you start to break that trend line and you get yourself into a position where I don't know what happens under that. Well, everything is leading up to that, right? So crashes can happen in different ways. Bear markets can happen in different ways. So we started to break the major two here. We gapped down. This was Evergrande right here, which was the announcement that, hey, there's this company, the 122nd largest company in the world in China, the biggest housing developer in China, going upside down. They missed 2 payments. They're in the middle of default now. The market tried to rally on the debt ceiling, didn't care, made this kiss of death, which is a typical technical analysis situation. Following, a trend line break, the market goes up to see if this was a real move. Like, was this real? Did we really break the trend line? Sure did. Boom, we come back down. And what we did was, we rushed down pretty fast, but the significant point here is breaking the low here. If we break this low with a close, we get into a position where we are in a downtrend, and we haven't seen a bear downtrend in a long time. And all the players that watch this know that, And so each day we've been kind of following the news, what's going on. It seems very premeditated in the Mark Weiser, head for the hills. Mark Weiser says head for the hills. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if the hills are safe, Mark. I don't know what to tell you. So when you have a situation that we've been following, is this bar came too soon. There just wasn't any news to really do anything with it. We could tell the market did not care about the debt ceiling issue because the market wants to know, is the Evergrande situation handled? Is China under control? Or if we're not, they're not going to rally this thing to new highs until they're confident of that. So a triangle forms this major war between buyers and sellers in here, and we're sitting there right now, right? This is the war. You have the sellers up here and the buyers down here, and they're each defending these positions. These are very important positions. So the triangle doesn't give you any definitive direction on where the market is heading. So each day we've been calling like what the day is going to do, what's probably going to happen. We spotted this triangle within the triangle yesterday. A couple of days ago, we said, hey, here's the fake out. A lot of times when you see a triangle, you see fakes before the real move. So a fake means like, oh, we're going to do it. And then it rips back down. Well, as we go through the news and the things are coming out, this is a bear triangle, which means it leans towards being a breaking down. And in that event, you look at the background behind all the technical analysis, because technical analysis kind of on its own doesn't always fill the whole picture. So you look at the fundamentals behind it and go, well, this is a bear triangle, but are we in an uptrend? Kinda. But what's the background news? Is the background news significant? Is it like, hey, we're about to be the greatest this or that in the world, or they're going to lower interest rates, or things are looking good again. So this is not really a bear triangle. It should be, supported as a double bottom here and become a bull move. The reality, though, in the background to what we're seeing is they trickled out the Evergrande situation. Then they have now we're seeing other things trickle out behind it, which I think is all going to link together. And the linking of that is becoming some other things that we wrote on the top here. I wrote some yesterday too that were down in the yesterday's chart, but it feels like what they're doing is they're putting a huge backdrop out there as to what is going, when the time comes to say, hey, the market is in a landslide. And when I mean this is going to happen, I mean it's not going to be like it's going to knock COVID off the map. Like you're not going to hear about COVID in the news anymore. It's just going to be straight up, whatever this is. And I'm calling it the Grande Recession. So what's going to happen is all these other pieces were already in place, such as the supply chain issue. Everybody's been kind of seeing this leak out and leak around, right? Like, Ryan, have you heard about the supply chain issue thing?
Yeah, anybody who's had an Amazon order delayed more than their next day delivery, you're seeing it, you're feeling it. That's what it's linked to. So anything with supply, even gas, UK's, you're seeing that with UK, where truck drivers are, saying we need more gas and things are getting stalled there. So you're having 10-day deliveries over in UK, and it just hasn't trickled quite yet fully to the US.
Well, I started to see people asking about U.S. pricing. So supply chain issues become like a real thing, right? So, everybody's probably seeing those memes now, or not memes, but like pictures of all the cargo ships surrounding the United States. I don't know if you've seen it, or I could probably find that real quick. Cargo ships. So this is what the, come on, Google, be good.
While you get that, I mean, we haven't quite felt the supply chain impact yet. So meaning like, go back to COVID, right? When the shelves were cleared out of toilet paper, and then everybody all of a sudden heard of this, like, hey, there's no toilet paper. That's when the panic set in for toilet paper, right? Not the end of the world if we're just talking about toilet paper. But let's say that's going to be something like food of some sort, that all of a sudden we can't get the cheap milk, and you have to go to your local farm, but they're running dry, right? So that kind of supply chain is what is really potentially on impact for the world.
Yeah. So, and it's so sensitive, right? So the Evergrande thing, what's going to happen is going to be like, okay, so let's say everybody gets put on notice that Evergrande is failing. What's China going to do? Everybody's going to be looking to China to do something. Well,
by the way, their next competitor has also defaulted. Just letting
I didn't know that. Who's that?
I don't have the name of the company, but it was like a blip in the news saying Evergrande's competitor in China has also defaulted.
Okay, so this is just going to so great. They're unraveling another piece that I didn't know about that. So another home builder in China. So the housing bust is the boom. It's over.
Well,
So
it depends on how it's handled still, right? Like
kind of,
the
yeah.
nobody knows what the Chinese government's going to do. Like, is there going to be a bailout? Is it going to keep things moving? That's
You're right.
what's unknown to people right now.
Right. Right. People don't know. And the market needs to have that confidence to rip back up. So you get into this. So the thing is, it's not necessarily people in America go, oh, housing bust in China, that sucks. But you go, not, it's more that it's going to hit you, because what happens is all of those suppliers along the way, lumber, gas, all these at such a high level. I mean, they're connected at so many levels of different industry that it all is connected. So this is like kind of the cargo ship thing that I was talking about that people see, like all these cargo ships at bay. Well, right now, supposedly, all these cargo ships are having trouble coming into the United States. And this is like the picture people have been seeing around. I don't really know. It just looks like, I don't know, to me, it looks like, yeah, there's more cargo ships in the ocean than on land. I guess that makes sense, right? I don't know. Like, is it jammed up? I have no idea. But apparently they're saying it is. So, but all you need is like one piece of that puzzle to become an issue, right? So, and like you said, right, is it food, is it gas, or is it a combination? So let's just say, for instance, I mean, those who remember 2008 when gas prices went up to like $5 a gallon or close to $5 a gallon at one point, it destroyed the trucking industry for like a year. So imagine gas, all of a sudden the supply can't get to, they can't get oil to wherever. I just saw something they were talking about potentially tapping into the reserves in the United States. Or natural gas, and how much is it going to cost to heat your house during the winter? $5,000 a month. Like, these are the things that you think about, and then you're like, and then you have inflation doubling down against that, right? So the people are going to talk about inflation. All these pieces that interlink take like one little small step to break them, and then it just starts to domino. The thing is, it's premeditated in the way that we know. We've been talking about this for 2 weeks, like, and then it's going to happen, and then you go, like, everybody's going to be shocked that it's happening. But if you can see, if we can see it now, the people that put it in place already put it in place, right? So it's already happening by design, and that's, it's going to continue to happen as we go down through the chart here. So all of that is the background between like supply chain issues, gas issues, Amazon. It's all going to file into a single moment of breaking. And these 1,000-point days and these big volatility days that you see in the market are going to be typically moments of fear that big money is moving. And today, just as we said, this today right here is a really significant day. This is today's green bar. So we broke out of yesterday's triangle in a bullish move, which made sense. We were talking about the possibility of that. Like, this little triangle really wasn't the one that we were focused on. It's this big one. So we were talking about a head fake, right? A head fake means, are the buyers really in control or not? Are they going to bring it up and then get crushed by the sellers and trap a bunch more positions up here? So as we speak, we are on this line. We are testing this line. This is a battle line for the sellers. So as we test this battle line, the question becomes, remember, you have to clearly, if we're going to start to go back to new highs and that fight's over, you have to go through this level right here where these buyers are. You need to close over this, and then this ends up becoming, people go, oh, it's a double bottom. We know the whole time Ian's an idiot. It's not going to sell off, right? So that's what that ends up looking like. So then buyers go, I told you so. And right now, we don't have that confirmation yet. So there's no confirmation. So you have to get over that line. On the other side, you have your sellers line right here. Sellers go, let's say this fails. Let's say tomorrow becomes a big red day. Let's say today goes big green. We go, oh, we're going to new highs, right? Then all of a sudden tomorrow's a big red day, and it makes this big engulfing candle where it just covers the entire green day and rips it back into the triangle. Well, I can tell you that we're very likely then going to go test down here, or at least under this triangle. As this triangle compresses more and more, you can feel the tension in the market building more and more. You start to see more posts on Facebook, people talking about the market. What's the market going to do? I saw already that, I have made a post about, hey, did the market shift? And I was just kind of getting a pulse from everybody. And everybody, I like 70 comments from a lot of people saying, no, it's not shifting. Everything's good. Well, that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks later, I saw an individual also make that post or a similar post. And all of a sudden the responses were, well, yeah, things are cooling off a bit. And it was like everything is shifting and changing. So we kind of saw this 2 weeks ago, where it is. And as this compresses, that becomes more and more worrisome. So expect these head fakes that we're seeing in here. Now, if we had a situation where we got over this with a close, the question becomes, to be convinced that this downward move is over. There needs to be resolve in the marketplace. There needs to be something that goes, well, yeah, that makes sense. Like, hey, the market makes sense that it went up because China did the bailout and the market was comfortable with that. So therefore the news release is up. It's good. But as of right now, everything's sitting in the background. Nothing states that is coming. What do you think, Ray?
I think that's it. It's kind of a wait and see. I think today, if it stays the way, I mean, you never know. We still got 6 hours left in the day, but assuming it goes green, tomorrow's going to be kind of the confirmation day. Are they going to go try to break that high there that you have circled, or are we going to rip back down to the triangle? So it's kind of a big Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll lead right into Monday, right? I mean, it's kind of like a never ending, okay, let's see what happens tomorrow. But as you said, these are big movement days. Like, look how many days we've had of those big bars there compared to, the previous days, right?
2, 3. I mean, you got some huge volatility. I mean, this whole thing is considered like one day. I mean, you got some huge days. That's fear. That's what fear. If you want to know what it looks like in the market, people talk about fear and greed, fear and greed. That's fear. That's pure fear in the marketplace. And that's what it looks like. If you go back to the COVID, we saw what fear looked like right before COVID fell off a cliff.
It looks just like how we see it right now.
Yeah.
So we're not saying it's going to rip down. We're just saying the setup is there right now, right?
Yeah.
For it to do so. So, if it starts going green, we probably won't be doing this chart analysis every day. But we do feel like we are in the midst of a potential brew of multiple storms hitting. So that's why we're just being on top of it for everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Donovan. Yeah, that's hopefully the news. I don't really know what to do with this news, to be quite frank. I'm just stating it because when I see it every few years, if something comes up, like, it's worth talking about. And this one is very different from the prior ones. So yeah, I hope the information, I guess, helps people. But at the end of the day, I was like sitting here thinking, like, what am I going to do differently? Like, whether we want to or not, we're all just going to be in a reactionary state of mind. Maybe get some extra toilet paper.
True. I mean, that's in terms of the market, but I mean, most of our audience here is in real estate, right? So I do think it is helpful to call out to people saying, hey, if you're expecting just these markets to go up forever, and the condition to be what they are right now, you're basically saying be cautious. You always go back to your basics, which is get your phone call going, get the pipeline going, get the leads coming in, regardless of what market you're in. But don't plan, especially if you're an investor, don't plan on the market going up 10, 20%, 25% that it did in the last year, right? You might find yourself crushed because these things that we're showing do happen and it has the potential to go down. So if anything, it's definitely a call out to make sure you're not overpaying. Right.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe like an awareness thing. Like, just be aware that, like, if you've been blinded by the upswing of the market, just be aware the blinders were on and the blinders are now off, and we're just helping them be removed. I'm not, market could easily go up, but I look at it and go, we're at 35,000. Are we going to go to 50 before the end of the year? I mean, you have to have something remarkable happen. And I guess the remarkable things have happened, but like something remarkably positive. The thing is, too, I think we're tapped out of the whole stimulus package thing, right? Like, we've just stimulused ourselves to death. Like, we had 2008 was the first one. I was like, wow, this thing could work. And then and then just pump liquidity into the markets. And then you had the trade wars, and then you had COVID. Everything was just like, I don't know, add a few extra trillion to it, dump it in there. And so at some point, people were like, dude, this doesn't work anymore. We're done with it. What the point is that I think we're at that point where people are just like, we can't do any more money because inflation is going to be an issue. So, like,
I mean, we're going to find out, because if it crashes, they're still going to dump trillions in. So, like,
they're going to try. Yeah,
they're going to keep doing it until it doesn't work.
Yeah, they're going to try, and they're going to realize, oh no, it's not working. Well, if it's not working, then you have, the dollar crashes. It's over, right?
That's a whole new game. Yeah.
And now go buy your Bitcoin, or everybody's buying Shibu, or what the hell? I don't know what
Well, you know what is it? Just to get it back to real estate for a second here. Interest rates are going up for investment property lenders already, right? So this happened back a few days ago, or not a few weeks ago, right? And that quickly, interest rates moved, right? So it just shows how sensitive money is right now, right? It's not like money was like, let's wait and see before interest rates go up. It was just like, move them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything is going to be very, very, very quick. Because if it starts going up, then interest rates, I'm assuming, will go back down for some lenders. It's a very interesting time to be in real estate. I'd say it's so fast right now.
Yeah, everything. I mean, we're in that digital age. I do want to say what I think is going to still happen. So if I were to we've been pretty damn accurate with our calls moving, from each day in this process of what's going to happen today, tomorrow, et cetera. I'd be shocked if we were to close over this, this most important candle ever. That would be a shocker to me. I do think we have to fill this gap right here. I think that gap is necessary to be filled. Gaps tend to want to be filled. There's a lot of trap positions. It makes sense with the head fake here. It makes sense so I think you can see a late day sell off today. Yeah, Mark, you're 100%. Yeah. So Mark says October seems to be a popular month for carnage, always. So the reason they do that, I always say that, like, I agree with you. It's September, October, November, December. So the reason they do that is because the big wealth fund managers, the way they rate their profits, the way they take their profits, they scare everybody and then they bring it back up, but they time it with September, October. Why does everything bad happen in September, October? Because the biggest money in the world, the way they time their wealth is designed around that, which is, if you just the Wall Street gang. So, it's like, I can assure you that it's not October where everything bad happens. Like, why did the news get dropped in October? Why didn't it get dropped back in June? Well, I don't know. Maybe they're in the Hamptons. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So
probably, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, if I would commute, like if I was going to be the one designing it, I would do it around my schedule. And if I'm in the Hamptons in June, I'm preferring the world doesn't crash, right? Like I probably want to wait till October. Weather's not as good, a little more in the work mode. But this gap will need filled. So what coming tomorrow and moving forward, this gap will need filled. And I think we're looking at a head fake. So today either winds up in a sell-off, I think, or tomorrow goes heavy red. And then again, what we start to do is I'm just trying to visually, let me see if I can do this. Okay, so this starts to put us at, let's just say, I'm just drawing like potential candles. Yeah. So this is as this compresses right here, right? So it doesn't have to go like right down to the point necessarily. Like this is somewhere it breaks out. Like it starts to get really tight. So in the next like 1, 2, 3, they're really good candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then, I think we've been saying this. So the next 7 to 10 days, I would expect some significant news to hit the marketplace. And I won't be surprised if we get a bomb dropped over the holiday weekend at Columbus Day. It's perfect.
Hopefully not a literal bomb.
Yeah, not a literal bomb. But if you get some pretty big news, like I would say, just look out. It's a common time to kind of drop that kind of stuff. I don't think we'll get like late Friday news right now. I do think Friday, tomorrow will close red. And, but I could definitely see some news popping out over the weekend that everybody goes, whoa, what's going on? Monday comes, the banks are closed, tensions building up. Everybody opens, do we open into like a huge gap down over here on Tuesday? Is that the candle on Tuesday? Like how much would that scare the world right there? Like, oh my gosh, like that'd be crazy. So I think Tuesday I think Monday we get some more news and it just keeps compressing to those candles down here, down here, down here. And eventually it's just going to pop. And where that goes from there is going to be, we're talking like 2 weeks. So by the end of October, by the end of October, we're going to know, I think, where this thing really stands. And which also lines up to the Evergrande actual default, right? And then imagine, you're going to have a few dominoes fall into place. Maybe gas prices go up, supply chain issues hit, people freak out. We start sliding into the end of December. They start wanting to pump stimulus that puts everything into the December 3rd debt ceiling vote, right? And now everything lines up perfectly. What are we going to do December 3rd? Are they going to vote it in? And now it's like, well, they're going to be running in 2 years for presidency, so we have to like consider that. It's just silly how it all ties together, right?
Yeah. The pieces are definitely there.
Everything's there. It's right there.
But it doesn't mean it's going to happen the way it is. So as you always say, price doesn't lie. So let's see what the price does here. As a normal weatherman says, it might rain, it might be sunshine. So we're saying.
Oh, I took Ryan off the stream. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah.
We're still live, but I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Probably a good time to wrap it up.
All right, so-called experts have been saying for years that the hedge fund credit bubble is going to pop. Thoughts? I don't know, man. That's, I look at it and say they always like to pin the tail on the donkey after the fact. So I don't know whose head has to roll in this. I honestly think it's bigger than there's a lot of anonymity to hedge funds. There's a lot of like, who do you really pin it to, right? You just say it's like in 2008 when they just used to say the banksters. They just termed them the banksters, but like there's a few guys' heads that rolled, but it really wasn't that. So I don't know. Those guys don't come away, pretty clean. I think it's going to be more of the most international thing that we've ever experienced. I think it's going to be China related. I think when you unwind it and you try to track it back, everybody's always looking for that reason. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be able to trace this thing down to the one reason.
Well, to Mark's point, right now we pointed out some of the background noise headlines. Like in the end, there's going to be a storm we haven't seen right now, and could it be something like that? Like absolutely, right? That all of a sudden pops in that is just like icing on the cake to make it go. It could be something like that, but to say specifically it's going to be that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be whatever agenda gets fit with like the honestly what's going to happen. So every time there's a crash, right, you always have I believe crashes are premeditated, and then I think there's like two groups of individuals. You have the people that create it and the people that benefit or capitalize on it. So in the capitalizing on an opportunity to them or what have you, they might have to throw some people under the bus, or, a politician will see it as an opportunity to run for presidency. So they'll stream a whole theme, around it. And this is what caused it. This is what caused it. I can tell you it'll be really hard for Biden to win again if he has the biggest crash in world history up against, like, how are you going to win that? You're not, right? So it's an easy one to stand. So there'll be opportunities that people are going to use along the way to spin themes to it. So if hedge funds get wrapped into that, I don't know. Lisa Blake says, I feel like those hedge funds pivot when necessary. They know their agenda for the most part. Thoughts? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally agree with that and it's okay. Like, I always think of it like this. Like, I don't blame people for protecting their wealth. Like, if I know information about my wealth, I'm going to move it into position. So of course, and they're going to be privy to that information, especially when they're the ones that move markets, make markets. They have that information because that's what they do. So for sure, it fits their agenda. I don't look at it. I don't want to say I look at it like a bad thing. I look at it just like a thing. It just is what it is. It's human nature. Like, at some point they climb from where they were to where they are, making certain kinds of moves. Is it evil in intent? I don't know. But I think human nature. I think if you can remove them, if you can remove the current people that are in there now, they would just be replaced by the same human nature right behind it. Personally, that's my
that's a whole other topic. Whole other topic, but I love
whole different topic. Yeah, Great Depression started October 24th, 1929. Ooh. Man, that would be crazy if it all happened on the 24th of that'd be too much.
I mean, look at the 100 years like COVID to what was the previous, outbreak?
Spanish flu?
Yeah, like I don't know.
Was it to the day?
It was to the year, I believe it was. It was like almost 100 years.
Mark's calling out the day here.
He is calling the day, but it doesn't line up with the year. But I got you. You know, just the October.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it happens on October 24th, man, we live in a fantasy world. It's not even real around us. Oh my gosh, could you imagine that?
Yeah, I could. I would not be surprised either.
Wait,
right?
let me see if October 24th is even a feasible date. No, can't. It's a Sunday, so could it be Monday morning though? It could be Monday morning.
I mean, if it starts, you know,
I would
on the 24th, I'd count it.
Well, yeah. The market's open at 6 p.m. on Sunday.
That's what I'm saying.
Technically, yeah. So technically, you could just be in a straight up sell off through the morning.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should check The Simpsons because they already have made the episode. if it's gonna happen,
oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Did they really? Was there a Simpsons episode talking about?
No,
this?
I'm saying that's how we could find out. The Simpsons would have already aired the episode.
Oh, right, yeah. So yeah, I guess that's where we are right now, and we'll keep updating it. But every day right now, so we basically have. Oh man, I gotta put the 24th. Oh, man, this one's from Mark. 1929. Oh, okay, wrong here. Mark Weiser. That's fun. We'll just put a little note on that one. A little sticky note.
It's gonna be on the show for the next 2 weeks now.
I've got to know. I've got to see, because if it happens, come on. I don't really know what it means. It means terrible things if it happens. But I'm gonna put it up there. So
cool.
Yeah. Anything else, Ryan?
Nah, I think it was a good show. Obviously, you know,
we got a gap today. Today's important, and tomorrow's gonna be just important. So we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll pay attention tomorrow. So thanks for joining and participating, everyone. Thank you very much.
Take care.